Joining me now to discuss both sides of this topic, David Leopold, founder and principal of Wolfe, Leopold & Associates. He's also the former president of the American Immigration Lawyers Association. And joining me also is Frank Pena, Republican strategist, former membership chair in a Republican Executive Committee, Miami-Dade County. Gentlemen, both of you, thank you very much. David, let's start with you. Why can't America take care of these kids? What's the issue?
America can take care of these kids. That's what this country's about. That's what we've been founded on. This is a country of people that have come from elsewhere, seeking a better life. Of course we can take care of these kids. We do have an unfortunate crisis at the border, a humanitarian crisis. And it's upon us to make sure that these children are given due process, that their claims of trafficking and asylum are heard. You know, and unfortunately, not many of us don't think about the fact that these kids came through some of the most dangerous corridors of Mexico. A lot of the little girls arrived here having been raped. The children arrived hungry, afraid, tired. And what's really appalling is that, you know, the President of the United States gave us a proposal, and the House of Representatives, the Republican-controlled House of Representatives, what did they do? They voted to deport dreamers and to gut the protections that this country offers children.
David, we're going to get to the politics of this in one bit, but I want to have Frank chime in on the kids again here. The undocumented immigrant kids. I don't think anybody would disagree that we want to take care of the kids. The issue that a lot of the Republican officials have brought up is who should pay for it, why should they pay for it, and it causes local governments and a lot of county governments, which ultimately pay for the schools, to go over budget. That's a problem, isn't it?
It is. And Philip, first, thank you for having me on. David, very nice to be on with you.
Same.
But, you know, I guess the question is, could America take care of those 60,000 or so kids? I think we probably can, but we're already burdening our system. And maybe these 60,000 we can this year, but until we really put forth some serious immigration reform and protect our borders, it's going to continue to overburden the system, and it's going to get to a point where we can't. We have problems now just here in Florida, the Department of Children and Families. We are strapped. We are strapped financially, and we're going to continue to burden our schools, continue to burden our public services. It gets to a point where, as much as I would love to be able to help all these kids and help out everybody, and America is the land of the free and the land of opportunity, we're going to get to a point where we're not even going to be able to take care of our own.
Okay, Frank, when you say protect the borders, what do you mean, putting up a wall? I mean, these kids are coming across, some of them are dying before they even get to the border. So what more can you really do? I mean, these are the kids we're talking about, right?
And you're absolutely right. And again, I think we're, by, you know, just saying it's all about the kids, you're simplifying the issue. And when I say protect the borders, in some places you put a fence, in some places you use drones, in other places you do what fits a certain area. But again, you know, I think there's compassion on both sides of the aisle on this issue, but there's so much you can do. It's just simple math, and it just doesn't add up.
Gentlemen, both of you seem, although you differ slightly in your views, you both agree that there needs to be immigration reform. David, what is the sticking point?
Well, I mean, we've got two issues going on, at least in this discussion. The border issue, and I agree that the border has to be secured. And you know what? The border is secure. It's the most secure border we've had since the 1970s. Illegal immigration is down to levels we haven't seen since in 40 years. The president, the administration has secured the borders. What does reform have to look like? Well, you know, we do need a pathway to lawful compliance, to earn a way to citizenship for the 11 million undocumented people. We need to make sure that our employer verification system works so that bad actor employers can't game the system. We also need to reform our visa system so that businesses can bring in the best, the brightest, and others to fill shortage occupations in this country. We need a massive overhaul of the immigration system. And the Senate, by the way, last year, on a bipartisan basis, Republicans and Democrats, Florida Senator Marco Rubio at that time, and I mention that because of Florida, joined with Democrats to pass that bipartisan bill. And unfortunately, Speaker Boehner and his lieutenants in the House leadership.
Yeah, that deal's been killed, right?
Has been killed.
Frank, help us here.
Well,
can we get a deal by the midterm elections, or is that just crazy thinking?
You know, unfortunately, the way the system works, and we can blame both sides of the aisle, I think it's crazy thinking. The truth is, the president and the Democrats in the House haven't made it very easy for Speaker Boehner to get his lieutenants in line. They haven't. And the truth is,
Frank, forget about the president for a moment. What do the Republicans want? What do the Republicans want to get something pushed through, whether it's this year or next year?
I just heard David say that the borders are more secure than ever, but I would ask you to ask the governor of Texas, Arizona, and New Mexico, etc., if the borders are more secure than ever. They just, they aren't. We have
Frank, if they tell the truth, they're going to tell you they are. You can't look at the children and say that's why the border's not secure, Frank. You know as well as I do that the reason those children, the 100,000 children that are coming in because of a bipartisan law that was voted on by Republicans and Democrats in 2008, which requires that they be brought into the country once they get to the border. That's separate and apart from the border security issue.
Guys, I want to ask you a question. I'm going to change topics very slightly here, but I'm going to change topics. China. They're sending a lot of kids to the U.S. I got millions of parents watching this show right now, watching this debate between you guys, wondering if it's a good idea to send their kids to America at all. Is America open to foreigners who want to come in? They may or may not want to immigrate to the country, but at least they might want to get a taste of it and go to school, whichever school that might be. That's okay, right?
I would hope so. Absolutely.
And David,
Frank?
I would agree with David if I can add to it. I actually serve on the alumni board of Florida International University, and one of the honors I have is when I sit on the platform during commencement, and I see so many foreign students that come through the line and they're receiving their degree. And I, as an American, nothing can make me prouder to see that.
Frank,
so
very quickly.
I'm on board. Yes.
Can I point one thing out?
Very quickly, please.
Okay. That's one of the reasons we need visa reform, because we've got some really talented folks here from China, doctors, researchers, and unfortunately they're waiting in a backlog. And what we need to do, and that's one of the things hopefully the president will be able to do when he acts administratively. Since Congress hasn't acted, the president has got to act within the law to do what he can do to fix it.
David, Frank, lively discussion. Thank you. I will say you guys do agree on some things, which is a good thing. Thank you.